As a proud sponsor of the 31st Nigeria Economic Summit, Rand Merchant Bank is committed to advancing innovation, deepening collaboration, and championing reforms that strengthen our economy and empower our citizens. I invite you to join us at the 31st Nigeria Economic Summit from the 6th of October to the 8th of October 2025 at the Transcorp Hilton Hotel, Abuja. You can also join us virtually from 6 p.m. with the theme, Funding the Future, Sustainable Finance as a Growth Engine. I have no doubt it will be worth your while to join us. Together, let's shape policies and drive actions that will build a competitive, inclusive, and prosperous Nigeria by 2030. Thank you, and see you at NES #31.
Software company, we offer payment. At Seamless HR, we're committed to helping companies and institutions in Africa to optimize their resources so they can be more productive and successful, and to help the individuals that work in these companies to enjoy a better life. The 31st Nigerian Economic Summit focuses on the reform imperative, building a prosperous and inclusive Nigeria by 2030. This theme underscores the urgent need for bold, coordinated reforms that will unlock opportunities, boost productivity, and ensure shared prosperity for all Nigerians. As a proud sponsor of the 31st Nigerian Economic Summit, Seamless HR is committed to advancing innovation, deepening collaborations, and championing reforms that strengthen our economy and empower citizens. We invite you to join us at the 31st Nigerian Economic Summit from October's shape policies and drive actions that will build a competitive, inclusive, and prosperous Nigeria by 2030. Thank you, and see you there.
Hi, my name is Wole Adeniyi, and I'm the Chief Executive, Stanbic IBTC Bank. At Stanbic IBTC, we are committed to solutions that drive your progress by being the leading end-to-end financial solutions provider in Nigeria through innovative and customer-focused people. The 31st Nigeria Economic Summit focuses on the reform imperative, building a prosperous and inclusive Nigeria by 2030. This theme underscores the urgent need for bold, coordinated reforms that will unlock opportunities, boost productivity, and ensure shared prosperity for all Nigerians. As a proud sponsor of the 31st Nigeria Economic Summit, Stanbic IBTC is committed to advancing innovation, deepening collaborations, and championing reforms that strengthen our economy on 6th to the 8th of October 2025 at the Transcorp Hilton Hotel, Abuja, and virtually. Together, let's shape policies and drive actions that will build a competitive, inclusive, and prosperous Nigeria by 2030.
My name is Abubakar Suleiman. I'm the Managing Director of Sterling Bank Limited. Our vision in Sterling Bank is to enrich Nigerians by empowering small businesses to excel, especially in the fields of healthcare, education, agriculture, renewable energy financing, and transportation. This theme underscores the need for bold and coordinated action by both the government and the private sector to unlock productivity and enable growth. As an institution, we remain committed to bringing innovation and to organize both the private sector as well as government agencies to deliver the best possible opportunity to achieve our goals in 2030. I invite you to join us at the 31st Nigeria Economic Summit Group between the 6th and the 8th of October at the Transcorp Hotel in Abuja. I assure you that Nigerians will be making important decisions for the benefit of Nigeria, and you will be glad you joined us. Thank you.
Legend Super App. A master of power and efficiency. And together, they bring forth their creation. App ability, surpassing super app and happiness in every way. Appability, the app for foreign brokerage, stockbroking, destined to outdo, outperform, and outshine all who came before.
What will banking look like in the future? For over a century, we've been growing to meet the needs of an ever-changing world, delivering unique solutions to help our customers reach increasingly bigger dreams. Innovating to create an exciting new world of convenience and freedom, where what you can achieve is only limited by your imagination. Opening up new, more inclusive channels for commerce. Empowering a new generation to reach beyond their dreams and grow into the giants they were always meant to be. We're helping to create a future where there are possibilities and where the world looks up to Africa. Let's awaken the giant in you. You first. First Bank.
Meet Kanye. 2 years after he was born, it became clear that he was different from his siblings. But the more we believed in him, the more he believed in himself. And the more he was able to achieve what many had said he would never do. Once again, meet Kanye, Guinness World Record holder, whose story has only just begun.
For several years, our purpose of feeding the nation every day has seen us increase our investments in all critical aspects of the food value chain in Nigeria, taking great care of how we process your food. Because we know that you trust us to deliver on our promise of quality. Today, we are proud to say that FMN is truly involved in all aspects of the food production process, from the farms to your table.
We are IHS Towers, one of the world's largest operators and developers of shared telecommunications infrastructure, independently owned with a portfolio of tens of thousands of towers across multiple markets. We are connecting people across Africa and Latin America. Engineering excellence is at the heart of our business. Right from where we began in Nigeria in 2001, with one single tower and one single solution, to today, employing over 2,000 people and offering not one, but 6 solutions.
Good morning, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Please, let's settle down. We're about to kick off. Let's take our seats. Thank you very much. We still have seats at the middle, at the back. Let's settle down, please. Thank you very much. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is with pleasure that I welcome all of you to the opening of the 31st Nigeria Economic Summit. But I'd like to welcome the Honorable Minister for Budget and Economic Planning, Senator Abubakar Atiku Bagudu. I welcome you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you. Suf, you're welcome. Thank you very much. I'd like to welcome all the board members that are here, members of the organized private sector, development partners, members of the academia, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. Because the Vice President will be joining us later, we will not be starting with the national anthem. So we just go on. Anytime he comes, we pause and play the national anthem. So let me welcome all of you. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to the 31st Nigeria Economic Summit by 2030. Served as Nigeria's foremost platform for public-private dialogue, driving reforms and partnership to advance sustainable economic growth. Transformative vision, the President's reform agenda. The reform is a celebration of vision and courage. The bustling streets of Lagos to the farmlands of Benue, from the tech hubs of Abuja to the oil fields of Niger Delta, the reforms have a direct impact on the lives of the people. So for the NSG to look at the reforms reshaping the economy, our institutions, and our collective destiny. I'd like to welcome all of you. My name is Ebere Young, and I will not be alone here. I'd like to also welcome here the lady who is carrying the emblem of Joyce Daniels. We're also going to be co-anchoring together. Joyce? Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Olani Yusuf.
Good morning, everyone, and the Honorable Minister of Budget and Planning, members of the board of the NESG, captains of industry, our development partners, civil society leaders, academia, His Royal Highness, ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to NEST 31. Your presence here this morning gives me hope of the way we can build and sustain the reforms that will transform the country. On behalf of the Nigerian Economic Summit Group, I'd like to extend my deep gratitude to His Excellency the President, Senator Atiku Bagudu, for their steadfast partnership and commitment to this dialogue process. The diplomatic community and our corporate sponsors for their dedication in sustaining this platform. Salute the members, the volunteers, and staff of the NESG, whose dedication as 1993, bringing together government, businesses, and other stakeholders to set national priorities and to shape reform pathways. As we gather for NEST 31, we honor our deceased founding fathers, including Chief Ernest Shonekan, Dick Kramer, Alhaji Ahmed Joda, and Pascal Doze, and other visionaries who conceived this summit in the national interest and will recommit and decisions into transformative actions so that together we can build a prosperous and the Nigerian Economic Summit has been more than an event. It has been Nigeria's foremost platform for public-private dialogue. Over the years, this summit has generated ideas that became policy proposals and reforms that reshaped our economy, from the Teleworks for Public-Private Partnership and the Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission, amongst other achievements, and a shared vision for progress. Some may call the NESG persistent, always writing, speaking, talking, and urging reforms. But persistence is our duty. Imagine what will happen if we stop talking. In terms of crisis, be it recession, pandemic, or inflationary pressure, the summit has served as a compass, pointing the way forward and bridging the gap between the private and public sector, between vision and execution, and between policy and people. At NEST 29, we focus on pathways to sustainable economic transformation and reforms through collaborative actions that lead to growth, competitiveness, and stability. Today, as we gather for NEST 31, we do so against the backdrop of bold reforms already underway. The government has taken courageous steps. The removal of the fuel subsidies, the unification of foreign exchange markets, tax reforms, amongst others. These are reforms that demanded huge courage and immense political will. Yet, we must also acknowledge that millions of Nigerians are carrying the weight of these changes. For the mother wondering how to stretch her income, for the young graduates searching for opportunity, and for the small business trying to stay afloat, reforms must not only stabilize our economy, they must also translate into opportunity and prosperity. It is in this context that the theme of this year's summit, the Reform Imperative, Building a Prosperous and Inclusive, it's a reminder that reforms must deliver not only growth, but also inclusion. Not just numbers. History offers lessons from nations that once stood where Nigeria stands today, at a crossroad where painful reforms paved the way for shared prosperity and technological advancement. China out of poverty. South Korea transformed through export-led industrialization and massive investment in human capital. Vietnam's Doi Mo renovation reforms in the 1980s unleashed entrepreneurship and productivity. These countries took different paths, but all embraced. For Nigeria, these are moments of renewal, our chance to act with integrity, with urgency, and when is rising, and geopolitical tensions are redrawing trade patterns. Development aid is shrinking as advanced economic support will be limited. We must rely on resilience, reforms, and the discipline to attract investment, both domestic and foreign, turn global turbulence into opportunity. The state of the Nigerian economy. Our domestic landscape presents a mixed picture. Progress 10.4% growth in 2024, up from average 3.7, maintaining a higher level compared to the 2.9% in the first half of 2024. Oil production in the Niger Delta. Yet, despite growth, per capita income fell sharply, underscoring how inflation and current 20.1% in August 2025 remains among the, and the fiscal deficit widened to 15.5 trillion for this sum, with high debt service to revenue ratio. Foreign capital inflows rebounded, and structural competitiveness are key to attracting long-term capital from domestic and foreign investors. Distinguished ladies and of undeniable progress amidst persistent fragility. In our last two macroeconomic outlook reports, we developed a roadmap to economic transformation built on three phases: stabilization, consolidation, and acceleration. Today, we can say that the stabilization phase is materializing, albeit as it is not the destination, and so cannot be the end of our goal. Therefore, is to move decisively into the consolidation phase, embedding reforms in ways for long-term transformation that will secure prosperity for every Nigerian. If stabilization has given us the breathing space, resilient and inclusive growth, to consolidate, we must act urgently and we must be deliberate. Let me highlight 7 critical priorities. First, we must drive industrialization and enterprise growth. We must build industries that will produce locally. MSMEs that account for 96% of our businesses must have access to affordable finance, stable power, and technology. As we support MSMEs, we also must support large companies. We must support our local champions. We must prioritize reliable power, efficient logistics, and digital connectivity. We must prioritize investment in energy, transport, logistics, and housing, and expand broadband for education, healthcare, and enterprises. Third, this week. Nigeria must signal that it is open, predictable, and fair to investors. Policy predictability, investor protection, and faster dispute resolution are critical. How we treat fiscal sustainability. We must strengthen revenue, manage debt prudently, and align fiscal and monetary policy, maintaining exchange rate credibility. Fifth, we must advance inclusion. Growth must be felt in households through expanded safety nets, education, healthcare, food supply, and jobs. Policies must be pro-youth, pro-women, and pro-poor, ensuring that opportunity is when they are embedded in systems, not in personalities. Regulators must enable businesses, not stifle it. Regulators, pseudo-regulators, aspiring regulators, and labor unions must all need to focus on promoting a positive investment climate that will attract, reward, and retain both domestic and foreign investors. A narrow focus on IGR at the expense of business growth will kill the goose that lays the golden egg. As we all know, dead businesses don't employ workers, they don't pay salaries, and they don't pay taxes. So local production will only happen when we protect local investors and local investments. Seventh, we must address security as an enabler of reform. Without peace, reforms cannot take root. Farmers cannot plant, traders cannot move goods, investors cannot take risks, and the youth cannot find opportunities.